Neutrality. What is it? You hear all of the mystics, the sages, and the gurus of time talk about the power of neutrality. When I think about neutrality, it's a state of being that does not compartmentalize or polarize you into good or bad, right or wrong. So I really want you to understand this. Reality has no meaning beyond that which you assign it. That is neutrality. If a car accident happens right now, let's just say a car accident happened, and my ego mind goes into this is bad, this is terrible, this is wrong. Okay, I am creating a story or projecting meaning onto something that otherwise doesn't have to mean anything. Simultaneously, I could be in that same scenario and situation, and I can somehow extract goodness out of it. Perhaps this person that you crash with is someone that the universe wanted you to meet. And for whatever reason, this was the highest way that this reunion was going to take place and happen. And then maybe someone gets a settlement and there's money involved and what have you. You see, the meaning itself is not inherently built in. The meaning is created based on your level of awareness. When you begin to react and respond to situations differently, what happens is you start freeing yourself from the 3D matrix template and construct. So in the 3D template matrix and construct, things are randomly happening to us that we perceive we have no control over. It's good or it's bad. That's it. When we begin to free ourselves up from that dimension of time, space, reality, anything can mean whatever we say it means. That is what being a creator is. That is what really being an alchemist is. It is what I say it is. And furthermore, whatever I project onto it, it will become that. So even if it's bad, right? We also can't be delusional. But if it's bad, but I trust that this experience is vibrationally encoded with a gift. It will have no choice but to reveal that and show me that. When you move through life in this way, you never really have a real setback or a real failure or a real problem. They're just experiences that are revealing something to you. But you get to say, this is what I think it means. So when you do this for long enough, you do start to vibrate out of the playing field where bad, negative, wrong things happen a lot. But what happens is when you do experience something that's like really chaotic, because now you're so sensitive to it because it no longer happens often, it becomes a sure sign that something magical is on the way. So how this works in my life personally is, well, first of all, I used to experience a lot of chaos. I'm talking about, I've blown 2 car engines, and I'm talking like driving on the highway, the engine blows or something and it's smoking and I got to pull over and flat tire, and just situations and tickets. I even spent a night in jail one night. That's a whole story. I used to be the queen of chaos. But as I was learning about the laws of the universe and being initiated by higher dimensional beings, over and over again, they would just say, redefine what you think this means. Redefine what you think this means. Redefine what you think this means. To the point where now there's so much synchronicity, harmony, and beauty, and just mind-blowing. I don't even have the words. Mind-blowing situation, comedy, and fun. And it's just like being in this amazing relationship with the universe all the time. But it took deep willpower, right? It took so much willpower to redefine things that were happening. And so now when I do get a moment of chaos or something shows up, it really stands out, right? It stands out to me because it doesn't happen often. But I always say, This is a sign that something magnificent is on the way, because this doesn't make sense. Now, I want to teach you this other tool called, I like to call this vibrational tracking. Vibrational tracking. So let's go back to the example of the car accident. And this is something that I used to do as well. You get into this car accident and, okay, how does it make you feel? Angry, frustrated, pissed, whatever it is. Have I been feeling like that recently? If the answer is yes, okay, you understand how you are a vibrational match to this situation. If the answer is no, then this must be a blessing or some miraculous unfolding in disguise. So you have situations that happen that are truly showing you where your vibration has been. And so there are instances in my life where, something happens, something unfolds, and I go, it makes sense. The last 2 weeks, I've been in just a bitchy mood or something like that. And the universe is getting my attention like, hey girl, if you don't get back into alignment, it's sort of like, I'm hearing Source say, it's like a yellow light. It's like a yellow light. Fun story. Me and my husband were driving to Sedona a couple of weeks ago because I hosted a retreat there. And we actually got pulled over because he was speeding. And he goes, I have not been pulled over in years. And then Source comes in and says, this is your warning that if you don't shift whatever vibration you have going on, other things, you're going to be a vibrational match to other things. Okay. So you can even have fun when these small occurrences happen. You can go, okay, this is my warning. Now, relating this all back to the concept of neutrality, it's that the way that Source is relating to what happens in your life is really from a standpoint of this can be whatever you want it to be. You can create the meaning. Are some experiences vibrational warnings or a mirror of what's happening with you energetically, or what's dominantly activated in your field? Yes. But even still, if you don't overly react and respond to it, you can neutralize the energy. So this is really cool. What's coming through on this? When we talk about neutrality, it's that the more you enter this state of being, you neutralize whatever vibrational momentum you've had going on, particularly if you've had a negative momentum. If you've had a low vibrational momentum where chaos and weird reflections are showing up and difficult relationships and interactions, how you're going to start neutralizing that frequency is by neutralizing your own reaction. So when I'm neutral, I go, I don't understand why this person is acting like this, but I'm sure something here is being revealed, and I'm open to understanding what it is. So I'm not going to label this as a good interaction or a bad interaction. It's just an interaction that is revealing something. This is really powerful. I want you to take a mental note of this. Your reaction gives power to whatever you are perceiving. It is the reaction. Whenever I work with people, and I've worked with hundreds and thousands of people, whenever I'm working with people and they're telling me about something that's been taking place in their life or unfolding or happening, what I always see in their energetic field is that they continue to react to the story in the same way. So the reaction just amplifies and expands the problem. If they begin to enter a state of neutrality, which is no story, no projection, understanding there's no inherent built-in meaning, the story would begin to shift. Even the characters in the story would begin to behave differently. So let's talk about neutrality in a sense of, in a relationship context, friendship, family. There's a momentum here. The more I say this is a negative person or a bad person or a narcissist, however you're relating to the energetic dynamic, between you and this individual or group of people. The more you say those types of things and label the interaction in that way, the reflection, the individual or group of people have no choice but to continue to show you who you say that they are as the creator. Now, this doesn't mean that you're going to shift everybody vibrationally, but what it does mean is that when you neutralize your perception and you just go, okay, background character in my movie, in my game, showing me something. There's a reason why I'm a vibrational match to this person in this interaction. Thank you for showing me something. And you start neutralizing it. You start shifting the way that you relate. Either the person's behavior will change or they will vibrate out of your reality altogether. Let me repeat that. The person's behavior will begin to shift and change. Now, this is a side tangent, but Source is just asking me to mention it. This is also how you know who's meant to stay in your life and who's not. The people that when you begin to shift the way that you're perceiving something or neutralizing something that they're doing or using the relationship and the interaction as a tool for growth and expansion on both ends, and the other person continues to shift and expand with you, that is an aligned relationship. When you are doing this, but the person is still not changing, this usually just means that for whatever reason, on a soul contractual level, they are choosing not to go with you. Okay. So this is how you use this technology properly. Neutrality within relationships is, I'm going to put myself in neutrality. I'm going to find a way to relate to behavior and the interactions and the dynamic within this situation from a vibration that keeps me out of being overly reactionary. I don't know if that's a word, but reactionary. If they expand with me, this is someone who I'm meant to co-create with. If they don't expand with me, and I'm not talking about overnight, I'm talking about if over a long period of time you have recognized that this person has an inability to expand with you, although you have been in neutrality, okay, this is where you want to start to reconcile that you have vibrationally outgrown this reflection. Now, I want to give you this last key understanding with neutrality. So oftentimes when we're talking about neutrality, people can feel like there's an insensitivity or that Source is like a robot or this mechanical consciousness with no love, no feeling, no warmth. Neutrality is actually unconditional love. It is the state of being. It is the highest dimension within consciousness that says, I accept all parts of me. That is why I am neutral. This is why Source does not pick sides. Source does not say, well, I love this group of people more than I love that group of people. Or I'm siding with this country more than I'm siding with this country. Source sits as the neutral observer of all and says, I accept, love, forgive, acknowledge, and validate every aspect of myself. You see, Source understands and knows eternally that it is all of itself. There's nothing that is not Source. So how is Source going to pick a side? It can't. It can only accept every aspect of self, even if through the human perspective, it's good or bad or wrong or right. Now, this doesn't mean that there are not low vibrational entities and beings who do nefarious, malicious things. And it doesn't mean that Source necessarily condones the behavior, but in this highest state of consciousness, Source understands the functionality, the role, and the existence, validation of the existence for that which is here. And because it's here, it should be here in terms of the experience at hand, the experience that whoever involved has chosen to play out. So remember, neutrality is not mechanical. It's not insensitivity. It is simply the acceptance that our Creator has for every aspect of existence.